Hey yo, welcome back to Anime Max. Today, let's pit two of the greatest Hunter x Hunter characters against each other. The show's protagonist slash son to the world's greatest hunter, Gon Freaks, and with the juvenile prodigious assassin slash most popular character, Killua Zoldyck. These two best pals are far superior from their peers, and are on par with the strongest hunters in the world. This begs the question, who would win in a showdown between Gon and Killua? Well, we are here to answer that very question. Though if you have your mind already set on one particular character, feel free to let us know in the comments. Before we move on, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible anime content. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive in. Let us first break down both their strengths, so that we have facts to up the legitimate winner. Let's begin with Gon. Gon starts out on his journey to become a hunter in order to look for his father. We see his growth from a young boy convincing his aunt to leave him the hunter exam by catching a monster fish in his hometown, to a certified hunter able to take on the greatest Nen users of all time. He was born for combat and adventure. His superior strength and naturally fast reflexes support my claim. He has a burning passion and fiery determination to excel as a hunter and ultimately find Ging. What makes him a truly phenomenal character is that he chooses to enjoy the process, making new friends and unlocking his potential and simultaneously appreciating the opportunities that life sent his way. Having grown up on an island with forests and marshes, Gon had always been closely affiliated with the wilderness, and a special affinity with animals, as a result of which he appears extremely knowledgeable about wildlife. His childhood ultimately resulted in his greatest strength as a hunter. Later, during the Greed Island arc, under Biscuit's training, he maximized his untapped potential. All 5 of his senses were highly enhanced due to his early life and rigorous training. He could see long distances even in the dark, hear sounds others were unable to, taste substances deemed tasteless, and smell better than a hound. Camouflage was an easy job for a kid who spent all his life at the hands of natural elements. This also leads to sharp instincts, and despite his rather naive demeanor, he could generally judge people accurately. With time, Gon only improved exponentially in this skill as well. There was nothing this boy couldn't do once he put his mind to it. As I already have mentioned, Gon possessed superior strength and speed, effectively clearing all the phases of Hunter exam despite being one of the youngest candidates. Later, he was able to reach the Zoldyck estate, a feat that only the most skilled individuals could pull off. He triumphed in numerous battles in Heaven's Arena, Greed Island, and against the Phantom Troop. He also had exponential agility, stamina, endurance, and resilience. He excelled at hand-to-hand combat with his Nen ability and fighting technique consisting of using only his body. He rarely used weapons, only using a fishing rod that he could throw with sensational aim and control. Furthermore, Gon is an enhancer, and can use his aura to protect certain areas of his body and increase the power of his attacks tenfold. He could release a huge amount of aura unlike most other Nen users, and had mastered all the basic abilities as well as most of the advanced ones. His Janjakin technique consisted of rock, an enhanced punch, paper, a blast of aura from his palm, and scissors, his aura in form of a blade. Gon also pretty much mastered the transformation technique. This young 12-year-old is definitely one of the most formidable enemies one could face, with many opponents praising his prowess in combat and recognizing his seemingly infinite potential. Gon wasn't all brawn, however. Our protagonist is also highly intelligent, something that many of his opponents underestimated. He had keen battle sense and could hatch the perfect strategy for a counterattack in a matter of seconds. In spite of Killua's obvious superiority when it came to experience, Gon was able to fight as successfully as his friend, able to predict an enemy's movements and come up with measures to ensure his inevitable victory. Gon was raised by a loving family and was confident in his abilities as well as his capacity to improve, taking on challenges rather recklessly. His friend, not so much. From the Zoldyck family of assassins, Killua's family were more like strict trainers, aligning him to the family profession from the day he was born. Thus, by the time he first met Gon, he had already honed many skills and abilities that were essential as an assassin. Victim to brutal training at the hands of his family and raised as an assassin, Killua Zoldyck was well versed in the art of combat since a very tender age. His extremely traumatizing childhood renders his ability to merely smile seem miraculous, and yet he manages to be quite like Gon, cheerful and full of mischief. However, underneath the demeanor of an ordinary 12-year-old, he harbors the soul and skill of a natural killer. The boy builds up incomparable strength, speed, and reflexes, showcased in the complete wipeout during the second Hunter exam. But the extent of his abilities by no means ends here. He also has awesome levels of endurance against electricity, toxins, and the natural world due to constant exposure from the day he was born. He is undoubtedly one of the most formidable opponents anyone from the anime had to face off against. The fandom's favorite character is one scary kid. Killua went on to hone his already superior skill as a strategist, his intelligence outclassing most characters. Entirely capable of coming up with effective counterattacks in the spur of battle, he was exceptional at executing them as well. He is proficient in stealth, mastering techniques, silent gates, and rhythm echo, namely to tail and manipulate through nothing but his pace. You definitely won't see him coming. Developing his Nen ability to a level of perfection and maintaining his flawless battle form, his opponents could see their chances waning the minute they stepped onto the battlefield. A transmuter, he shows prodigious skill with Nen too. Able to master techniques through sheer insight, he surpassed Gon during their initial training with talent that is both amazing and terrifying. This stands true for the entire series, where he never once fails to demonstrate the extent of his abilities. The most remarkable one though, often considered the absolute best of his Nen skills, is Godspeed. The combination of Whirlwind, his lightning-fast reflexes, and speed of lightning, inhuman speed allowing him to move at several hundred miles per hour. Killua's electric aura is greatly enhanced by his speed and physical prowess. He has got all aspects of a fight covered. His expertise is certainly way beyond his years, something that his peers and enemies alike acknowledge. And yet, for better or for worse, he doesn't know when to stop. He just keeps growing and growing. Now, enough with the yapping. Let's get down to the main issue. While we have not witnessed a showdown between Gon and Killua as of yet, nor are we expecting to see one in the future, fans are curious how a fight between the two powerful friends would look like. And hopefully today, I can help you imagine. Since Gon and Killua have developed a deep bond, they are fully acquainted with each other's fighting styles and battle techniques. Where Gon is superior in raw strength and producing a massive amount of aura, Killua has refined technique, extraordinary reflexes, and better battle sense. The two of them form a completely holistic and balanced team. But when they are against each other, they are also the best candidates to exploit each other's weaknesses. If we ignore their Nen abilities for now and consider only their natural abilities, I believe it is safe to say that Killua would easily come out on top in that case. While both are incredibly skilled and powerful, Killua has the edge of polished methods honed from an extremely young age, as well as experience in combat against stronger opponents from childhood. We should also bear in mind the fact that in the series so far, Killua has gone all out in very few fights, aiming to no longer kill others and having fun instead of officially working as an assassin. In contrast, Gon has almost always given his all in every situation, so we can say we know the extent of his abilities. It is, however, impossible to ignore his rapid growth and his enormous untapped potential, which also seems to grow with each installment of the series. As shown in the Chimera Ant arc, Gon's fully enhanced form is on a whole other level. With the latter's form an almost infinite amount of aura, he can potentially put up a remarkable fight against Killua. This is especially because while Killua's attacks are strong, they are not miraculous like his own. However, due to his Godspeed and Whirlwind techniques, the former has lightning-fast reflexes and can make rapid attacks that are practically impossible to dodge. However, Killua is lacking in the aura department, something that he himself admits. Gon, on the other hand, is able to produce an absolutely jaw-dropping amount of aura. His Janjankin technique uses that aura quite effectively, an ability that could prove to be a lethal blow if used against Killua. However, at his current level, the technique requires some time to charge up, a huge drawback considering Killua's greatest strength is his speed. By the time Gon is ready to strike, the latter could have already released a barrage of powerful and deadly attacks. Killua is able to manipulate and produce lightning and electric power using his Nen ability. However, this power on its own is definitely nowhere near strong enough to harm Gon with his insurmountable level of raw strength. However, he can use and manipulate external energy or power sources for his own use. Keeping this in mind, the aura that Gon is able to produce can also be used by Killua in the same way, theoretically speaking. If one of Gon's greatest weapons can be used against him in this manner, he will without a doubt find himself backed into a corner. It must be kept in mind that in his current state, he cannot achieve his enhanced state on his own, and could have to form a pact, similar to the one Jay formed during the battle against Chimera Ants, while Killua definitely has more control and mastery over his technique. All in all, the two seem to perfectly match up. However, I feel that Killua's experience and better control over his abilities are the ultimate edge that will allow him to win in a fight against his best friend. In his current state, Gon just cannot overcome the huge barrier in the form of Killua's miraculous speed. So there you have it. While Killua and Gon are both incredibly strong, as well as the best of friends, if the two are pitted against one another, Killua will probably come out on top. I hope you agree that Killua's years of training and refined technique just give him the upper hand. Although this doesn't in any way mean that Gon is weak, and who knows what potential he is yet to unlock. That'll be all for today. If you found this interesting, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. And while you're at it, why not share it with your otaku pals? Stay tuned for more amazing content, and I'll see you next time. Peace.